Now we have Brad's shot here. That's going to be a little difficult because this shot was very red to start with. So to get the blue out of the sky, he's going to be even a little redder, and we're going to have to come in through the secondaries to try to pull this color out. Let's start from scratch on this shot here. So here we're working on Brad's shot. I'm going to try to get the sky to match first, and we'll start working backwards from there. And we can see here, by getting the blue sky to a more neutralish color, I'm going to have to add red, add some warmth to it, which his face was already really red, so his face is even going to get redder here. I'm going to have to kind of come in through the secondaries to eliminate that as much as possible. So we're just kind of taking some color out of him. I'm going to take that pink, which David hates, out of his skin tone. So I'm going to look for a correction of Morgan's. And sometimes, even though we're looking at the same shot, the corrections doesn't work because, you know, the time of day might have changed. It could be maybe take 14, the lighting totally could have changed. So we're still going to have to adjust the shots. So here we're going to, the shot that's coming out very, very warm, we're going to go ahead and take some of that warmth out. Get this a little bit more neutral. And again, with all these shots, it's almost always we're going to have to desaturate. Here, this particular shot, we're going to have to add a lot of warmth to this to get the blue out of the sky. Again, we're going to desaturate this shot. And hopefully this is all cut together. If the lab needs to reframe anything, then they have to make an optical, which is what we saw on that one shot of Brad, where there's 2 frames of Gwyneth cut in there. That's like a kind of like a film effect, where if they have to do any kind of sizing changes, they're gonna have to make an optical from that, and that's when you see like that little color difference that we saw there. And they also don't have the capability of isolating colors like we can here, where we can just kind of just pull colors out of their face like we did with this one shot. They don't have the ability to do this, where you can kind of just desaturate just his face or change the color of it. As we can see here, you can go through all the different colors. You can make his face green if you wanted to, but this is things that we can do electronically that, you know, normal when you're making a print at a lab, you know, they don't have the ability to isolate colors that way. So it allows the directors to just have that much more creative freedom when they come into this process of telecine.
You want to come take a look at this? He had a gun.
He's 2 murders away from completing his masterpiece.
Okay, here we go. We are rolling. Ready and action.
Line Cinema and producer Arnold Kopelson team up with director David Fincher to bring you a thrilling film of mystery and suspense, starring Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and Gwyneth Paltrow. Seven.
Very nice. Much better. Okay, here we go. I think we're ready.
Seven is a new mystery thriller in which two homicide detectives are in a race against time to find a killer whose bizarre murders are patterned after the 7 deadly sins.
There are 7 deadly sins, Captain. Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy. You can expect 5 more of these.
Morgan Freeman plays Lieutenant William Somerset, a burnt-out cop on the brink of retirement who is forced to break in and train his new replacement.
I've worked homicide 5 years, not here. I understand that.
Well, over the next 7 days, Detective, you'll do me the favor of remembering that.
I guess he thinks he's gonna sort of live out the rest of his life in some semblance of peace. But right after his replacement shows up, these serial killings begin. And he gets caught up in the investigation and is sort of trapped by his own need to solve the puzzle.
Opposite Freeman, Brad Pitt plays Detective David Mills, the new man in the precinct who may be in a little over his head.
Mills was very ambitious to make it to the big leagues in a sense, you know? Be the big fish in the big pond, get to the big city where the action's happen. I believe he talks his wife into it, though she doesn't want to go, but she does it for him. It's a bit of a selfish move. She's very unhappy there.
Balancing the story and the role of Detective Mills' wife, Gwyneth Paltrow plays Tracy.
Tracy is a very unique woman. She's very centered and very direct. Her husband is very career-oriented and he's very driven. And she knows all of this about him and she loves him very much anyway. He's a smart guy, he's a good cop. He loves the thrill of being a homicide detective and they get entwined in this unbelievable serial murder case.
No fingerprints. Nope. Totally unrelated victims.
Yep.
And no witnesses of any kind.
I don't get.
Well, we're up against a very bright man who has an enormous amount of will and patience.
John Doe is out to prove a point.
I feel like saying more, but I don't want to ruin the surprise.
His victims are all guilty of one of the 7 deadly sins.
There are 2 more bodies, 2 more victims.
He's going to show the world its wrongdoings.
911, what's your emergency?
I've gone and done it again.
It's his good work to eliminate them.
Just a bad, bad man. Truly evil.
In order to truly capture the gritty realism of the homicide detectives in action, the filmmakers enlisted the help of actual police officers who served as technical advisors, ensuring that every detail would be correct on screen.
We try to spend a lot of time with the actors. We help them with the type of weapons that they should carry, the way to properly deploy the weapons, properly handle the weapons. We want them to look like they are professional law enforcement officers, like they've been doing this as a career, that they've been trained in.
I went riding around with some detectives who kind of showed me the backside of what we see on television. And I'd have to say it was pretty hairy, going to calls, going to the morgues, learning to do this.
Perfect casting. Morgan Freeman is one of the great actors of our generation.
He carries this wisdom with him that is so evident, so apparent. You can't help but just have ultimate respect.
No, a reason to knock on this door. Think about it.
I have not seen a movie star like Brad Pitt since the 40s. He's a movie star in every sense of the word.
He's terrific. He's a fine young man and constantly absorbing and giving, you know. It's great.
Here we go. Quiet now. And rolling. Marking. And action.
There was so much tension and mystery. You can see the audience right on the edge of the seat.
We're gonna get who did this. Brutally honest. You know, no fluff, nothing light here.
It will shock. It will disrupt. It's so hot, so exciting, so terrifying that I can't even go into it because you won't even believe what I'm talking about.
Have you ever seen anything like this?